Hey, what's up? My name's Ethan. This is my very first YouTube video. I don't know. I wanted to make a YouTube channel because I thought it would be therapeutic. I don't know. I just thought it would be interesting to talk to someone. I know it's not like, because I'm not gonna lie, I've been a bit of a depressed boy lately. And I know nobody needs to really hear my opinions about things. Like I know that very well. But I just thought this would be a fun little outlet for myself that I already, I'm kind of used to doing, that I feel would be interesting. So the point of this channel is you guys either can send me topics, or I'll pick out topics or whatever that I find interesting, that I want to talk about, and I just make a video of where I drive and I talk about it. And you guys are there with me the whole time and all that stuff. And it's just an interesting little drive. It's not supposed to be stressful. It's not supposed to be weird. It's just us driving, talking together. You know what I mean? Because yeah, there are lots of videos where they have the game shows and all that stuff and all that. But I feel like there isn't many people where you just drive and talk about things. So I don't know. What should we talk about? I guess we can talk about, oh, that man fucking ran a light. That ass. Jesus Christ. You guys didn't see it, but this light literally turned like dead red, and he just went, ka-chigga! That was the Lightning McQueen bad guy sound. It was pretty lit. Pretty 10 out of 10. Oh, there's a guy right there. Hello. He waved back. He seems nice. But, yeah, I don't know. He probably thinks I'm crazy because I'm talking to myself. But, that's the world we live in. I can talk to myself all we want. Oh, I have a topic we can talk about. So, there's this show. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's this show on crack. And it's a very interesting and... This fucking asshole. Why you gotta go so fast, bro? Chill out. Like, why you gotta go so fast? But anyway, going back to what we were talking about. The show on crack. So, it's this show I found. I don't remember the exact name of it. I'll search it up when I get home, because I'm not gonna use my phone while I'm driving. But, be safe! And I'm talking to you! Fred. Fucking irresponsible motherfucker. Judge Fred! No, I'm joking. But for reals. It's this show, and it's with these hyper animated characters, and they talk about, I think it has like 2 seasons now, and it talks about like mental illness and all that stuff. And, I don't think it's a bad show by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's a really well written art form of a show. I like the character designs. I like how they portray people. But I feel like the show kind of, maybe it's just me, but they use the show in a lot of weird ways to express certain ideas. Like, and again, I don't want people to think I'm hashing on this show. I don't want people to think I'm talking shit about this show. But I just didn't enjoy the show very much. I just thought it was very, it just talked about the same bullshit. And and like for an episode, for example, they were talking about an episode I watched recently, which was like a video. It's a video about all the characters are taking like a 10-year monologue of themselves. Like every year they make a video about their life and like how they feel and everything at that time. And all they kept showing was how depressed and sad they were, and at the very end they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna try and end it on a happy note of where not everyone's depressed, you just kind of become an adult, or you have mental illness or something like that. And that's nice and good and all, and I'm glad that they address mental illness, and I'm glad that they're like, yeah, being an adult can be scary, but eventually you become an adult. But I feel like that's the premise of a lot of their episodes. I mean, I've watched like a couple episodes, like 2 or 3 episodes to kind of tell, or not 2 or 3 episodes, but like 5 or 6. I'm not gonna act like I'm the biggest expert on this show ever, because I'm not, okay? I'm not. Don't come to me for professional reviews, okay? But I just, from the image that they projected onto me, a lot of it came off as like, wah, I'm a sad boy. I am so sad because my fucking life sucks. I don't know how to interact with you. What is your name? Fucking George. That's... I don't know how to interact with you. And it just... a lot of it came out to just not knowing how to interact with people. And it's not that... and you know, I think that it's hard to interact with any kind of person. I don't think it's easy to interact with anybody. But at some point you have to sit down and be like, you know, interacting with people sucks, but why do you have to talk about it so much? Like, the show that really established, the show that basically I think did a much better job at what that show is trying to say is BoJack Horseman. BoJack Horseman greatly, and I mean greatly, depicts mental illness, sadness, the feeling of being alone in the world and not having anybody to turn back to. I mean, you know, like when you watch BoJack Horseman and you watch him grow as a person and you feel what he's feeling, it's genuine. But, and in this show, it just feels like they're kind of trying to force the whole, you know, and every single episode is kind of like them trying to force something onto you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, or like force an ideal onto you. Like something, like the episode about the homeless people. Like, yeah, I thought that episode was really sweet and it was really sad and it was really great. But, you know, it didn't really like, you know, there wasn't anything good about it. There wasn't anything that I didn't feel like force a mentality on me that I didn't already have. You know what I mean? And I know that doesn't make much sense, but like, think about it like this. In the show, this girl is talking shit about this, like, this girl's talking shit about this homeless person that she sees every day, right? Like, passes by him every day, and he always asks for change, you know? And then, one day, she's like, they get in a conversation about something, and then she sits down with him and hangs out because she feels bad. You know, she feels bad about him. Not bad about him, but, you know, she feels, she, like, connects because they both connect about the fact that they shouldn't have jobs, you know what I mean? And then they have a very intriguing, interesting conversation. And then, you know, at the end of the episode, and of course, you know, I'm gonna put this in if I remember, but it's gonna have like spoilers, bitch. And then it's except it's not gonna say that because I'm not a bad boy. But you know, there's gonna be spoilers in this, obviously. But yeah, so she talks with this homeless man, and then they're talking, and then he leaves in the end. After having this whole dramatic thing, after they had this whole dramatic conversation about, like, when things disappear, they disappear. And yeah, like, that's sad and all. But again, I just feel like it's pushing the ideal of, like, you know, and, you know, the lady was sad. I don't know if this makes a lot of sense, because this is all unscripted. I'm not scripting this. But basically what I'm trying to say is they have a conversation, they get to know each other, and then, you know, he leaves after they became friends. And then, you know, basically because they foreshadowed it in like the very beginning on how he's never going to come back and how sometimes people just disappear. And then she's sad and she feels like a bitch. Not a bitch. Don't, you know, a meanie. She feels mean for being a dick to this guy. And, you know, it just, to me, it felt like the show was just like really heavily pushing that ideal of like, you shouldn't judge people on their appearances, because, you know, if you judge people on their appearances and then they end up being your friends, you'll miss them when they're gone. And yeah, that's a great mentality to teach in something like a kid's show. What is she doing walking out here at like 3 o'clock in the morning? What the fuck? There's like a 16-year-old girl just walking around at nighttime. But anyway, yeah, so, you know, that's a great ideal to like teach kids at a young age, but this show's meant for adults. And it's fine to make the show what I'm trying to say is that, you know, the show shouldn't be less teachy and more about relating to people, relating to other people. Because that's what the show is all about in the end, is just, because that's, I feel, well, not about in the end, that's not what that show's about in the end, but, you know, like, I feel like that's the point of adult media, is less about trying to teach someone a lesson about something, and more about teaching, and more about showing people relating to other individuals. And I just feel like that show is trying too hard to teach me a lesson and trying to get me to accept their ideals, instead of just being like, oh yeah, we're trying to relate to you. You know what I mean? I don't know if this made sense. This is my very first one of my talking videos ever. I wanted to make something interesting and nuanced and all that stuff. If you guys have any critiques or anything you want to say about my about my video, let me know and we can talk about it. I mean, I want to hear your commentary. I want to hear what you guys want to say to me. And I want to hear topics that you guys want me to talk about. Anyway, this is your first time being on this channel. Hello, goodbye.